So our next speaker, this is a fun story. I called Vincent a few years ago, back in 2017, and I said, hey, Vincent, you got to check out EXP. He goes, I'm not a real estate agent, not interested. I said, no, you're my friend of 30 years, and you're going to look at this whether you want to or not. I can be persuasive and slightly bossy sometimes. You need to do that with your friends. You just call them out. He's like, okay. He watches the model explain, and he goes, oh, my gosh, I'm really interested. I know you would be. And long story short, he goes, can I get a real estate license? I'm like, sure you can. And he goes, do you know how many I'm 50, 7 years old. I don't know how old you were back then, but you were something like that, dinosaur. And so he goes, I know a lot of real estate agents. I'm like, well, how many do you know? He goes, a lot. And he was so genuinely excited. I go, like, how many? He was like, 20 to 30, easy. Like, that's a big number, right? He went out and enrolled 27 of them. He went out, he enrolled 27. And then they told people today's got over 1,000. And we're going to fix the FLQA. I lost 13 in the past 4 or 5, 6 months. The hanger-oners they're letting go and getting jobs, and things change. And we're going to build through this, and it is what it is. Like I said, all brokerages are losing them. They're going, oh no. But the producers that were going from 40 to 20 and 30 to 15, they're coming here. They're like, where do we go? They're coming here. So we're replacing people who weren't doing a whole lot with people who are. We're actually growing like crazy right now. Yeah. And so he's just an amazing human being, a friend of mine. He is responsible for South Africa, him and William. If you haven't met Bill Campbell, you will. But these two guys put South Africa on the map. Jean, Susan, and I will be flying there with my wife, Kathy, next month doing a safari. And we're doing Build South Africa. We have over 500 people attending that event. And so, Vincent, get up here. Give him a hand, everyone. Vincent St. Louis.
Hello! Woo! You're not fired up, you're about to be. And really quick also, if you're emotional, I am, so you might want to grab a tissue. I'll cry watching SpongeBob. So how'd I get it? So it's actually 1021, but they made me give them this a couple of days ago. 60 agents, man, that's right. 60 agents a month are joining our team. And I took a year and a half off. I'll talk more about that here in a minute. A little bit about me. Been married for 30 years, hon? Already. Here it is. My tissue. See, Brent gets emotional too. 4 boys and 6 grandchildren. I've never sold a house in my life. I didn't get in this to sell real estate. I got in it to build a legacy income, and it's done quite well. I did have 3 agents retire at the beginning of this year. Anybody have an agent retire? But I did just sign up a 25-year Coldwell Banker agent out there sitting by the pool earlier, capping agent. Swore she'd never do EXP or leave Coldwell Banker. 25 years Coldwell Banker. But life changes for all of us. And people make a decision based on life events. And so I decided, actually my wife told me to do it. We sat down at Brent's office, and I said, I'm not really interested. Brent, he embellishes. That thing's already at 13? Dang. Brent embellishes a little bit, and so I actually knew when he showed me this, and I went home, I said, I'm not really interested. And the wife says, yeah, I think you should do this. I think you're meant to do this. And I said, I don't know. And so she won, like always. And so I decided I'd get a real estate license. Now, I barely made it through high school. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the only reason I did, because they did not want me to come, what's that saying? It's flashing. Oh, hold the mic closer, sorry. You see, really quick, I've got ADHD, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and everything else. So I'm going to get on a subject, and they're going to flash stuff, and I'm going to forget where I was. So somebody will have to remind me. Where was I? Yeah, I barely made it through high school, so I really did not think I would pass the test. I really didn't. And I actually passed the test the first time. I actually cried in the parking lot because I didn't think it would. There's no way I passed that test. It was like a foreign language. Who's here in California? That thing is ridiculous. And I was the first person there and the last person to leave. And I took, it's weird, it was like 3 hours and 14 minutes. It was like some weird number of time I had to take the test, but I passed the test. Before I did that, the first thing I did was I called 3 of my friends. They were real estate agents, so I didn't know 27, I know 3. And I called them and I said, look at this business model. If you take out revenue share, is there value to a real estate agent? I didn't know you guys worked for brokers. I didn't know you had a split. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know, I barely could spell real estate agent. And the 3, I sent it to 3 people, and 2 of them called me right back and said, man, this is awesome. I'm gonna get started. I'm like, whoa, slow down. I don't even have a license yet. You know, back off a little bit. And then the 4th one came around a little bit later, and I didn't sell real estate. But you know, I've talked to tens of thousands of real estate agents, and not one has ever asked me, Vincent, how much real estate have you sold? Nobody's asked me how long I've been licensed. You know why? Because it didn't matter to me. I don't care. If it matters to you, people will ask you. And so I called real estate agents every single day. 50 to 100 agents, 5 days a week for 4 years. Would you do that? How does this guy do that? How does he got 1,000 agents? I'm going to show you. So I talked to my friend Tess, and she was an independent broker in the San Francisco Bay Area, and bless her heart, Lord took her home way too soon, but she introduced me to, she would have a huge business right now. Amazing. Jeffrey De Jesus, are you here? There you go, Jeff and Jen. Icon agent, about 300 agents in their team. Just growing like crazy in the Bay Area. Everything they touch out there is $1 million plus. It's crazy. And so I remember the day that Brent and I went and talked to Jeffrey De Jesus. And then so Jeffrey is part of our team. He's got a lot of Icon agents in his team. Then I go to the NAR event in Boston. Me and one of my agents, well, first off, I cold call this agent, Barton Smith. He was in Petaluma. And Barton, he said, I'm not interested. Man, this broker gives me everything I need. But there's 2 things I'm good at. I'm a grinder. I will work and work and work and work. The other thing is, I will follow up with you till you die. I don't bug nobody. I've got over 1,000 agents that at one point in time have told me, yes, I'm interested in knowing about EXP. And I will follow up with you every 3 months and give you a phone call, not a text, not an email. I will phone call you every single 3 months forever. This lady I signed up, kid you not, just Tuesday, I guess it was, July 2018 was the first time I talked to her. She just joined this weekend. You know? I will follow up with you forever. You people, you say, well, I'm too late. People don't follow up with people. You talk to them at the right time. You know what happened with this agent? I'll get back to Bill in a minute. And I do that a lot. So, see, I just lost my train of thought again. Yeah, I'm going to follow up with them forever. And people tell me, oh, everybody's already talked to. No, because they talk to them one time and then they move on. Or they bug the crap out of them until it drives them nuts. And I don't. I talk to you, and then I follow up with you, and follow up with you, and follow up with you. So Barton, I follow up with Barton, and finally, the timing is right for Barton. He joins EXP. So him and I, we decide, he's a capping agent. He sells probably 15 homes, 20 homes a year in Petaluma. And so him and I go to Boston. And we're in Boston at the NAR event. Why am I there? To meet agents. So I did cold calling and open houses. Every Saturday and Sunday, I'd go to an open house to meet agents. I hit 8 to 10 open houses every Saturday and Sunday. That was my wife and our dates for 4 years. And so we're at the Boston event. I met a guy named Bill Campbell, and he has a funny accent. He lives in Canada, but he's from South Africa. And we worked for at least a year. Bill, you there? There you are. Oh, there he is. And so he's got just over 700 agents in South Africa. Yeah. But thank you to Michael Valdez, because we tried for a year to get in South Africa. And we couldn't, because he wasn't licensed in Canada. He owned a independent brokerage in South Africa. And the day he got hired on at the EXP, Bill was in his office, in the EXP world, of course. And then we had like 2 or 3 meetings with him, and within a week and a half, we were in South Africa. And now there's 700 agents. And it's because why? Not because I'm so great, not because I sold more houses. I know some of you are probably thinking, man, people should be selling real estate here. That's not why I came here. And some of you, I've been here for a little over 5 years, and I've sponsored, I think, 48 people that have never. I got an icon agent in Riverside I've never met, that I personally sponsored. I met him on LinkedIn. Is that good or bad? I don't know. But you know what? That's legacy income. It's legacy. So Rob Flick talked about build it now before you need it. You're going to need it someday. Stuff happens in our lives. I took the last year and a half off, moved to a middle of nowhere, Utah. We're an hour and a half, there you go. We're an hour and a half from the nearest Walmart. I didn't think anywhere in the world was an hour and a half from a nearest Walmart. No cell service, because my wife's dad, who's getting older, he's wheelchair bound, and we had to go out there and take care of him because he was stubborn, he wouldn't leave. And literally 25 minutes from the nearest town with one street light, an hour and a half from the nearest Walmart. And here I am, I locked up my house and kicked my cat out of the house and told the neighbor, hey, feed him if you want to. I got to go take care of Pops. Yeah. In an hour and a year and a half, I went one time home. And I'm not telling this, I'm telling you this because EXP still paid me $180,000 that year. Without selling a house, but just doing some follow-up calls. So go out there, the guy talked about earlier. Look, you can make some phone calls. I called 50 to 100 dials a day, 5 days a week for 4 freaking years. What are you going to do? I've never filled out an offer. I've never scheduled a inspection. I can't teach my agents how to fill out an addendum. I don't know anything. You know what the beauty is? They never call me for help selling houses. True freedom. I had a construction company. I built houses for a living for 28 years. I had massive overhead. I had massive people trying to sue me. I had liability. I had workers' comp. I had overhead. I didn't buy a box of nails. I had a freaking semi-truck come in with a box of nails. I got nothing. I pay $85 a month just like you guys. That's my overhead. This is brilliant, you guys. Thank you, Glenn Sanford, for giving us the opportunity to build legacy. And you know what? My construction company, I almost fell off a cliff. I'm from Florida, half of my life in Florida, half of my life in California, and I don't know anything about snow. Ice and no brakes is not a good thing for me. Brent knows I drive fast, huh? and so I building houses. I've got 3 young boys at home. My wife is homeschooling the boys, and I'm snow skiing like an idiot, and I almost go off this cliff. I still got a scar on my chin, and I realized that time, that's not fair for me to do that to my family. I am the one with the contractor's license, not my wife. And so I realized at that point in time, I needed to find something that paid me passive income, residual income. The last 10 years, almost completely, has been on residual incomes for me and my family. Without me being there, took a year and a half off to take care of Pops, and my income increased. Over 60 agents a day. We're at 1,021 when I checked this morning. You can do this. You know why I did it? Because I believed I could. I believed in the bottom of my heart that the next phone call I made could be the one that chose me for their sponsor. I believe in the bottom of my heart that I will sponsor a Brent, a Vincent, a you. I believe it. And you need to believe it too. You need to believe in the bottom of your heart that you can make a difference in people's lives. Because you are. I made a difference in Bill's life. I made a difference in Jeffrey's life. I made a difference in Brent's life. You know what is important to me? I went to Brent's house in Puerto Rico, and he's got his board up there with all the people. And this is not pride, it's being proud of yourself. But I'm number 5 on that list of people, influencers, in his group. I wanted to make a difference. When Brent talked about his team, I wanted to be in the mix. You're thinking to yourself, oh man, I really would like to sponsor somebody like that. Is your sponsor still saying the same thing? You know? And you might be saying, man, I've been working my tail end off. Hey, don't curse the work. Don't curse your team. Man, I've only got 250 people. I haven't found that leader, that person out there to duplicate. Don't curse it, because you're working, you're planting seeds in the ground, and you're fertilizing, you're working, and then you go and you curse and you get angry at your group. Everybody, a blind squirrel can find an acorn as long as he keeps looking. You've got to believe. You've got to believe in your heart that you can do it. If you don't believe, how are the other people going to believe? I know for a fact when I go out of here, I took 1.5 years off. I did some phone calls. I didn't have cell service out there. We had dial-up over there. You know, beep, 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 beep. It was horrible. But you know what? We did what we did because I built something years ago. For 4 years, I worked my tail end off. I'm going to promise you this. None of you are going to have to work as hard as me. I just about guarantee it. But you're going to have to work, and you're going to have to pay a price, and that price is your price, nobody else's. I don't know what your price is. I don't like my price. I think it sucks. I think I should have had a lot more than that by now. I do. So let me wrap this up. I've got 11 seconds. If you don't believe in you, who is gonna? If you don't believe in you, who is gonna? You're gonna have to get out there and do it, because something's gonna happen in your life. It's gonna change, whether it's the market changing, whether it's a life event happening in your family, something's gonna happen, and the pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret will last a lifetime. God bless y'all. Woo!
Vince.